Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Hope you are well. It is Friday morning. What a busy and great week behind the scenes at Addressing Gettysburg. It has been a very good week. I can't even remember all the good things. But some good things. Good things. And you will find out about them in due time. Due time. So let's see. What else? What can I tell you? Oh, nothing much. I decided to get out a little earlier than normal to do one of these driving videos because, as you might imagine, I haven't done one in a while. Because, as I've said before, now that I have Tad there, I have to let him into the building. And I don't want that kid to get lazy, so I make sure that he's bright and early at 10. Yeah, that's right. We start at 10. Creative people can't get up early. We just can't. We're night owls. So anyway, we start at 10, but, I don't want him showing up at 11 thinking, oh, I'm just going to stroll in. So I got to be there at 10. Well, of course, that's when I get in. And when it was just me, I had the time to take to do a driving video. But now that it's two of us and Tad can't have a key to the building or the alarm code, I have to be there to let him in. So that is the case there. And so I don't do them as much as I used to. And that sucks. But I'm going to try to figure out a way to get to be able to do these more often. Okay, we're out of the 15-mile zone. You can go to 25 now. Jesus. How you all doing? Bill, Robert, Valerie, Jeffrey, Rocco. How are you all? Good morning to you all. From Missouri. Hey, Rocco, you're from Missouri. MO is Missouri, right? Yes, I'm going to stick with that. That's my final answer. I want to say Montana's MT. Missouri, that's JD country. Sorry, the dreariness is getting to me. I don't have much to say. It was so beautiful yesterday. It was 78 degrees, bright, sunny day. I don't recall seeing a cloud in the sky. It might have been a couple of little cotton balls floating around, but for the most part, it was a gorgeous day. And yeah, it was very hard to stay inside. Very hard to stay inside. But I had a good meeting yesterday with a listener. And have two meetings today. One's a lunch meeting with Doug Dowds, and the other one is with another listener. And I'm looking forward to both of them. And Tad, poor Tad, he's going to be stuck in the office working the whole time while I'm meeting and planning for the future. Let's take a different route today. I'm not sure if I lose you going this way, but no, you know what? Actually, you want to go through the battlefield, don't you? So we'll go straight. Morning, Ken. How are you? Sea Travelers from Indianapolis. Good morning to you. Horn says Dixon Miles lives there. Lived there. His cousin Mike Roach lives there too. Ken, and I said good morning to you, Ken. All right, good morning again. So let's see. Almost finished with the Valley Forge Tavern talk. We were waiting on it's kind of it's a placeholder logo for addressing history as we tweak it along the way, but it's just to have something there. Tavern Talks is going to coincide with the changing of the YouTube channel name to addressing history. And so the Valley Forge Tavern Talk is going to be the first one, and that same week some supplemental episodes that used to be available, I believe, only on Patreon are now going to be available on YouTube and the free feed. So the not the free feed, the audio only. We're going to put the audio of the Tavern Talks up on the audio only feeds, in the hopes that maybe you'll go and subscribe to YouTube so you can actually see the conversation take place. And what else? Yeah, and then the two supplementals are actually, it's Valley Forge Part 1 and Part 2 with Ken Gavin from Patreon, and we just put them together in one long video discussion. And so those should be coming out, I'm going to say soon, because there's a few more little finishing touches we have to do. And we're taking our time with this one because this is going to set the template for the rest of them. Mostly finished, but we'll, as you edit them, you start to go, oh, we should do this. And then you're like, yeah, I like that better. And so you got one that has whatever this is, and then the other ones don't have that, so you got to go back and do that to them. And so first one coming out, Valley Forge. Then sometime after that, it's going to be John Brown in Memory with Jen Murray. And then you got yourself the Little Bighorn. And then you got D-Day. We're going in order of appearance, or chronological order, if you will. Not necessarily on their anniversaries. In fact, not at all on their anniversaries. Although if it does come out that way, it's totally coincidental. But we don't have a schedule of release yet because we're gonna, make sure we have the editing all down pat and all that jazz. So, quite an undertaking, and definitely under budgeted when we applied for the grant to the Digital History Pioneers, because that money was burned up before we finished the last, when we finished filming the last one, and the editing has been going since September. But you live, and guess what happens? You learn. You live, you learn. So if we ever do any more, they'll be a little more expensive to do because they take a little more time than we bargained for. Jeff says it's cloudy, 28 degrees. Oh, 28 degrees. It's 54 here, which isn't great, but it certainly is better than 28. I think I'd rather have the rain in Gettysburg than this cold again. I think it's time for the Pasnick clan to pull up stakes and move to warmer climes. That's what I think. If you want, I'll have a talk with the missus for you and really convince her. I'm very good at annoying somebody until they get going with what I want them to do. You know what I mean, Jeff? So I could help you out there. Valerie said, I listened to the audio of the railroad episode while on a cruise a couple of weeks ago, and it was awesome and so interesting. Thank you. That's cool. On a cruise. I think that's a first. I think that's a first that I'm aware of, I should say. That's pretty awesome. Jeff says, episodes available thanks to patrons. Become a patron today and get early access and exclusive content. I shouldn't say Jeff says, Jeff. I should just read that like I'm reading off a teleprompter and I'm just making it up myself, right? Let's pretend I didn't do that. Let's try it again. And so we're going to have the episodes that were previously available only to our patrons on the same week of the Valley Forge Tavern Talk. They're going to come out. as kind of supplemental discussion if you're really interested in the subject. And of course, episodes are available thanks to patrons. Become a patron today and get early access and exclusive content. That's patreon.com/addressing Gettysburg. All right, there you go. Bill Chesley says, Gary Gulman did a funny stand-up about the establishment of postal codes on Conan. Google it sometime. Gary Gulman. Why do I know that name, but I can't place the face? I'll look it up. Oh, wait, I just watched that. That Cindy played that for me the other day. That's funny you brought that up. Yeah, about, it's like, okay, so we got Arkansas. All right, let's see. Arizona, how about A-R-O? Yeah, that was a good one. That was very funny. And you know what was refreshing about it? It was just funny. It was smart funny. It wasn't political. It wasn't scatological. Wasn't dirty. I don't know what's happened to me, but I used to love, dirty humor and go ahead, get political. Like I used to like to argue, and but then I realized like I was arguing in good faith, and I was arguing with mental patients who don't know what good faith is, and I was like, okay, this is now disturbing to me, and I don't want to do it anymore. And then I don't know what happened to me with like I was saying this. I don't know if it was on a show or I was just talking to somebody. And I'm at the age now where if I'm watching a movie and there's a sex scene, I go, why do I need to see this? Like, I actually say that out loud, and then I fast forward through it. Like, I don't care to see tatas anymore. I don't want to see anybody's butt. I'm just over it all, It's boring to me, and it's like, it doesn't move the story forward at all. That said, Derek and I were talking about some of the videos we're going to make this year, and we will be doing them all with no pants. But that's in the interest of, exploring history in the raw. We want to get to it's symbolic. It's so the listener knows we're going to get down to the nitty gritty, all the naughty bits of history. That's what we're doing in our video. Not sanitized. It's not comfortable because we have a board that doesn't want us going too far in one way or another. No. History is ugly because mankind is ugly. And so we're going to show some ugly things, and we might as well start with our lower halves. Or should I say lower halves? Good morning, Dustin. How are you? Sea Traveler says, I like that railroad episode a lot too. I liked it too. I like all the episodes we do when we do them. I can't stand them afterwards because I'm sick of myself. But the information that Rich had on that was very interesting, and I don't know. I really like the nitty gritty stuff now, like the small details, the boring stuff. Not that I don't like the shooting. Well, I shouldn't say I like it because it's not that I don't find that interesting. I do. But when I got to the point in my life, which is probably the same time when I had no use for sex scenes anymore, when I got to the point where I was like, this isn't a reenactment where everybody's firing blanks straight up into the air, or this isn't a movie where everybody's firing blanks and people get hit and a squib explodes under their shirt. Like, it's very real. It's real life, and real damage is done to bodies, and people lose their lives. And it's not funny. It's not cool. It's not something to like. It's a tragic and apparently unavoidable element of human life. Human existence is violence and war. That's just who we are. People say, oh, we as Americans. No. The world is ugly. The world is violent. And America and Americans are a part of that. We like to think we're better, but we're not. We're just as miserable as everybody else. No better, no worse. And, up until maybe 20 years ago, our entertainment was better. But I was watching, actually, maybe even 40 years ago, but there were some good ones 40 years ago. We'll say 25, 20 years ago. To me is the cutoff. 20 years ago, 2006, music, movies, TV, still had great stuff. Don't get me wrong. I think, but it's the pinnacle. It's the end of the good stuff. And after that, it's been nothing but shit. Remember that movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton? All right, now let's see. Last time I went left and I lost signal, so I'm going to go right, and let's see if we lose signal again. I'll start another one if I do. Multiplicity with Michael Keaton, right? Whatever generation it is now, Gen Z, I guess, and I hate to say this with the broad brush, but at least in the entertainment field, you're like that last multiple of that last clone of Michael Keaton. Just kind of, you know. And it's sad. It's sad. It's sad because there used to be some good stuff. You know, it would be fun. Chopped, Gettysburg. Contestants are given a basket of rash. Oh, you know, sea travelers, that's a very good idea. And, you know, sometimes certain ideas get into, what do they call it? The zeitgeist. And wait until you see what we have, if you don't mind the pun, cooking for you. Wait until you see what we have cooking for you. And we're going to try to fund it through the Digital History Pioneers. And so we certainly hope that when we come calling, that you guys will, empty your kids' college fund, take out a second mortgage on the home, whatever it is you need to do to help us meet the goal for the budget, because it's a bigger budget. It's a big budget. I mean, compared to what we've done so far, it's a big one. But it needs to be, and you'll understand why when you get more details about it. But this is, I hesitate to say this out loud because every time, what's the line? Announcing your plans is a good way to hear God laugh, right? So we'll see. But based on the last few weeks of phone calls and texts and things, it's gonna be interesting to see how this year plays out, because provided all the things that we've talked about doing can even get started, it's going to be a good year. And it's going to be one of those years where I say, see, last year I was ready to quit, but I knew if I stuck with it and pushed through this difficult time, I'd get to the other side and good things would happen. And it looks like that's the case. Now, I said to Cindy when she pointed that out to me yesterday, I said, yeah, which means something catastrophic is going to happen. Because, whatever you want to call it, the universe or God or whatever, just life, when you get too many good things going, it's got to send you one big one just to remind you, this too shall pass. And I'm still here doing what I do. Boy. So, but we'll see. We'll see. We're going to continue to move forward, one foot at a time, one step at a time, one tap dance at a time. That would be great if we could just tap dance through 1 year. Just one. Just to know what it's like, but nobody knows what that's like. Mr. Gutty says, knowing what those weapons and experience did to those guys helps us understand the trauma they took home with them. Again, Mr. Gutty, wait until you hear what we're working on. Wait until you hear. It's so good, and everybody is so excited about it that I'm actually having an NDA written up because people have already started talking. And I don't want it out just yet because, this is a town of thieves And so you got to keep things close to the vest. And ironically, I'm wearing a vest right now. Yeah, you don't want to share things. Don't want to share things until it's already underway. Good morning, Barbara. Sea Traveler says that would be awesome, Matt. I forget what I said, so I'm going to say, all right, great. Glad you think so. I don't know what you're responding to there, but I might have said something. I assume I was speaking. I must have been. 60-second good morning to you. UNC, oh yay, been a while since I could catch one of these. That's all right, it's not your fault. It's been a while since I've done one, so it's probably more my fault than yours. But if you want to take the blame, go right ahead. Hartshorn Guy says, is the plan to have Grant move in and create a Gettysburg version of The Odd Couple? If Grant would ever get on an airplane and come up here, maybe. No, the plan is not comical. It's certainly meant to be entertaining, but it's not. It's got a very heavy history bend to it as well. So it's not. It's like something you would see on TV whenever they do a history show, but it is and it isn't. You will see, and you will be shocked. Mr. Gutty says, very exciting, looking forward to it. Glad you decided to stick it out. Yeah, me too. Because it'd be very embarrassing if I didn't, and then I got all these offers this year. And I was like, oh, sorry, I quit last year. December 31st was my last day. No, I'm just looking for a real job. I don't know what I could do. You got anything for me? Yeah, that's not impressive. Right, we're gonna turn up Stratton Street here. I guess technically it would be down Stratton Street because we're going down south, that is. And this is Stratton Street. Beautiful Stratton Street. Here it is. Of course, off to our left is Coster Avenue. And up ahead is the monument to, oh shit, I forgot his name. Somebody help me out here. Come on, the dude. With the orphans, the kid. He's holding the picture of his kids. Amos Humiston. Thank you. I got it before anybody answered. Amos Humiston. Whew. Getting rusty there. Getting a little rusty Griswold. Anyway, the monument to him is coming up on the left, on the other side of the the train tracks at the firehouse here. And there you go. And there, in case you are wondering, in light of all the news recently here in town, that is the community theater building. There it is. They're trying to recover from the scandal, from the shame. And, yeah. Cisco Lady Liberty says, good morning. Okay, what's the parking secret? Would rather not be towed. What do you recommend for downtown? Don't park downtown. That's what I would recommend. The problem is there's nowhere to really park without having to pay something or risk getting towed. I would tell you to park at the studio, but I can't start that habit. We only have 6 spots, and 5 of them are taken up, and I have a meeting this afternoon with someone who's coming to the studio, so I can't say that. And then also, my landlord tickets cars that don't have a permit on it, so that would not be nice advice for me. There are places you could park that are not going to check. They don't make you pay. They don't, ticket you if you're not supposed to be there. They understand. I don't know what, but they just don't do that. But I don't know if they also don't want it advertised. So I don't want to tell you where to go. I'll tell you privately, but I don't want to announce it to the world in case they don't want everybody knowing that, although everybody kind of knows it because everybody parks in these places anyway. The one thing you can do if you want to park for free is go to the visitor center, park there, grab one of the trolleys, and it'll take you into town and drop you off. I think it's like $2 for the trolley. Something ridiculous. Like, clearly they're being subsidized because they can't. Who can survive on $2 a ride? But that would be the best bet. Take that, and it'll take you into downtown. As I understand it, they just kind of slow down and you have to jump out. And they're like, hey, what do you want for $2? And so, yeah, but it'll get you to downtown and you won't have to pay for parking. You will spend like $2 if you were to pay the meters in quarters, let's say, or however, $2 in town will get you all of 35 seconds. It's highway robbery, and I don't recommend it. And the way this current council behaves, I would not reward them with $1 that they're not confiscating from a business you patronize or something like that. Like, don't give them anything extra. So I would say park at the visitor center, take the trolley in. That is my advice if you don't want to pay and get ticketed, because you will get ticketed. The one thing the borough of Gettysburg does efficiently is have their meter maids out there and about and ticketing you, and they are Johnny on the spot. So remember that. They're the welcoming committee for our visitors. UNC says, if a community theater doesn't have a scandal, is it truly a community theater? Do they have scandals? I've never heard of a community theater having a scandal. I'm always surprised to find that there is a community theater. That's how little I hear about community theaters. So do they have scandals? Is that like a thing? Or they do, but they keep them internally. Like that, it doesn't usually come out into the public. And they don't have, I don't know, but, they have a scandal by association, I should say. I can jump, but I'm old and springy. All right, well, good. Then you'll bounce. Hart says, you should run for mayor. I know they're looking for people to run. Are you out, yo man? No. First of all, I can't. I don't live in the borough, so I'm not eligible. Secondly, why would I want to join the bad guys? Why? No. I find politics to be slimy, politicians to be slimy. Are there good ones? Yes, of course. Statistically, there have to be. But usually, like in the general population, the bad people are the minority. I think it's the reverse in political bodies. And I don't understand why someone would seek any form of political office. I question their personality disorder. Which one do they have? I'm sure there's some that do it because they genuinely believe that they're serving their community. Uh, I don't know how you could still believe that after being in there for 5 minutes, because it just seems like everybody changes. They go in there, they seem good, they seem honest. People are like, yeah, finally someone good and honest, and then they get in there and they just go along to get along, and it hurts the people. And I don't want to be a part of any machine like that. And not only that, but why the hell? I don't like the scrutiny I already exposed myself to. Why the hell would I do that in a political arena? That is insane. I thank you for the suggestion, but I would never in a million years go near that class of people. And I wouldn't want to be a part of it either. Total Dobro says, I use a Gettysburg parking ticket as a bookmark. I love that. That is the gift that the welcoming committee wants you to have. And I love that you use it as a bookmark to remind you of how welcome visitors are in the borough of Gettysburg. The Addressing Gettysburg party with their platform of turning parking tickets into Patreon subscriptions. Yeah, right. No, the first thing I would do is fix the parking, and I would fix the way the borough does business and with visitors. It's a very hostile attitude that they have, and they have for as long as I've been here, 20 something years, and from what everybody told me back then, it's been that way for a long time before that. So that's just the tradition here. I call it PA Dutch attitude. Suspicious of any newcomers, welcoming, but to an extent, and we want the visitors' money. We just don't want the visitors. So I think they're thinking, if there's a way we can just get them to send us money without actually coming here, that would be grand. Cisco says, off topic, loved the short you did, loved the short with you and JD on You Don't Want a Civil War spot. Spot on and profound. Gotcha. Thank you. It's funny, I was looking at some of the comments on that, and it really, like, people really are just hell-bent on having one, and they didn't hear a goddamn word we said. Like, it's like, one guy was like, it's not that what did he say? He goes, I've been anticipating one for a couple of years or something like that. And, we've been sold out by our politicians and blah, 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 blah. And I said, look, I had been anticipating one since I was 19, and everybody thought I was crazy. And I was just like, it's very simple. If we continue down the path that the two parties are going down as far as animosity towards each other, that divide is only going to grow. And there's no coming back from that after you reach a certain point. Because sooner or later you look like foreigners to each other and not countrymen, and so fellow countrymen, and everybody was like, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. You're a kid. And I was like, all right. And then here we are. And so but the thing is, at the time I was like, we need one. Yeah, we need one. We need to like reset everything, blah, 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 blah. And that's what a kid says. That's what a stupid 19-year-old says. And at some point I grew up, probably around the same time I didn't want to see sex scenes in movies anymore. I realized just how horrible that is. And it does nobody any good. And why would I want to risk my family and my friends getting hurt in that war? And I'm not worried about, I mean, of course, I want nothing bad to happen to me, and I don't want anything to happen to my loved ones. But what worries me most about that is, what is that old saying? There's an old thing about the man who tried to avoid a fight, or the man that you forced into a fight, or something like that. The man who always sought peace, and he wanted to raise his family and just do his, do good work, and be left alone. Or maybe that's what it is, the man who wanted to be left alone, and you wouldn't leave him alone. And you pushed and you pushed and you prodded, and he became the worst enemy you ever had. And that's what I'm afraid of. I am afraid of what I will do, not what will happen. And that's what I want to avoid. And I don't want to see, of course, other people get hurt. And it's an ugly thing. It's an ugly fucking thing. Why anybody thinks it would be cool or fun or satisfying? You're a mental case. You're an absolute mental case. Or you're a 19-year-old kid who hasn't matured yet. And that is why the youth fight the wars. C. Traveler says, I wonder if some of those monuments that are on the outside of curves ever get hit by knucklehead drivers. Oh, all the time. All the time. There's something getting hit. Or I remember a few years ago, an 18-wheeler, went down a battlefield road that they shouldn't have. And I forget where it was exactly. I want to say it was Oak Hill. And couldn't manipulate the turn. And the back wheel, I think, on the trailer, one of the wheels on the trailer, caught, hold on, excuse me, I'm tickled, caught a flank marker and uprooted it and dragged it, I think it was York, where they found it. And they found it by following the scratch marks in the road all the way to York. Now, I've never driven a truck, but I can't imagine it was that difficult to notice you were dragging that flank marker. But hey, whatever, man, whatever. Cisco Lady says, it wouldn't be a Gettysburg movie, it would be a Purge movie, way different. Yeah, exactly. It would be like just the bottom drops out. There's no dividing line between territories. I mean, there might be on a micro level, but it will be every man for himself, and it will be everywhere. There will be no organization. There will, be attempts at uniforms, but there's going to be no central power or anything like that. It's kind of like Iran's plan that they're enacting now. They've always had this plan. I forget what they call it, but basically, if the government is decapitated, then the military fragments, and you've got 31 separate territories run by the local commander, and they're on their own. And so now, the enemy has to defeat 31 individual troublemakers and whatever, and that be a turmoil. And needs, they want to get the libs, or they want to get the Trumpers, or whoever the hell your imagined enemy is. I'd like to see it last 24 hours without electricity. because that's what's also going to happen. So, good luck. Good luck. And you think you're prepared, but you're not. Cisco lady says that's the Patriot movie script. Right. And that's the person I relate to the most. It's like, no, we don't want this. What are you, nuts? But then if you shoot my son in front of me on my front lawn, it's a different story. Because what do I have to live for now? You kill my baby. Right? I'm taking as many of you guys as I can before you get to me. And I don't care that you get to me, because my life is over because of that. And so it's a bad thing to have happen. And, there's another short that I put up, I think, last year from one of the winter lectures with Scott Hartwig. And he was talking about these, I think he called them fools that, want another civil war. He goes, you don't want it. You don't want it. You don't know what you're talking about. You do not want it. And I really lose patience with anybody who claims to be a student of the Civil War and A, doesn't see we're heading for one, and B, wants it. I really don't understand that, and I think you're lying. A, on the not thinking that we're heading for one, number one, and number two, if you want it, and they're not always the same people, obviously, but if you want it, like, how miserable is your life now that that's what you would rather have? And if you listen to our show or any show that deals with the Civil War, and if you visited here and read one frickin' book about it, and you call yourself an adult, and yet you still go, yeah, you know what? This sounds like a good idea. We need one of these. I don't know what the word is for you. I don't know if it's a psychopath or just a moron. I don't know what it is, but please unfollow our account. Or watch it a little closer. Listen a little more closely. Mr. Gutty says, Civil War today would be incredibly messy regionally and technology-wise. Bunch of militias fighting each other. And gangs. It's just going to be a mess. Cisco says, Matt, are you doing anything with the film festival? Looking forward to Jay Frederick. No, I'm not welcome there. So I won't be there. Gio Wrigley says, good morning, Matt from the ATL. Good morning to you. How's the weather down there? Gio Wrigley says, Matt, coming up at the end of Jum. Unfortunately, we go away for the month of Jum, and I will not be here. But I will see you at the reenactment. I've been asked to MC one of the speech tents. So I hope you come out and see the speeches, the talks that are given. I don't know who's going to be there yet. I got to get the details, but I've been invited to do that, and I gladly accepted. Cisco lady says, I visit the cemetery every time I go into town and promise them I'll do everything I can to educate kids and not have another civil war every time without fail. Well done. Well done. Oh, June. Oh, I'll be here in June. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll be here at the end of June. So remind me when you're coming into town. Maybe we'll get a beer or a coffee if you don't drink. Perhaps you can get a bag of Little Ground Top. Sarah says, my son is driving from DC to Gettysburg this morning. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Cisco says, okay, now we are talking the coldest beer in Gettysburg. Go. Coldest? I never notice a beer is cold enough, no matter where I go. But my favorite beer is just left down this road here, Fourscore. It is good food, good atmosphere, and I really like their beers. I don't like the trend of sours taking over everything. Wintertime, for example, I like a good old stout, and they make really good stouts. All their beers are good that I've had, and people who do like sours like the sours that they've had when we've gone there with them. But I'm not a fan of sours or IPAs, and it's just everywhere you go, not just there. Everywhere you go, it's just a plethora of sours and IPAs. And I go, what is everybody wanting to walk around with a tart-looking face for? What is this about? What happened? What happened? I mean, I guess it's better than sugar, right? Because sugar's really bad for us. So as long as you're drinking IPAs, I guess it's better to an extent than drinking milkshakes every day. Yeah, frosty mugs are good, and I can't think of anybody that does a frosty mug. That's not to say that there aren't people that do a frosty mug. I just don't know. And if I'm being honest, my drinking days are kind of behind me. I'll enjoy a beer or wine or a belt, as my grandfather used to call it, like a hard liquor, occasionally, maybe one or two with dinner or something like that. But the joy of it is kind of gone. Because I feel sick very quick, like headache and just run down and everything. So I really only do it with a meal, just more for the flavor than anything. Though once in a while, it still feels good to get out there and just have 3 or 4 beers or 2 or 3 scotches and feel a little loose. That is nice. I'll give you that. But my lush days are over, so I really don't know. And even still, in my lush days, all those things didn't matter to me. It was where can I just get something to drink and find a good conversation where I don't have to yell over the goddamn music. Even when I was in my 20s, I just hated yelling over the fargan music and fighting my way to get to the bar because it's 70, 80 people deep. The club scene, that was never for me. It was always a bar. Good conversation, laughs, and then you forget it all by morning. That's the American way. It's the American way. Look at that. Derek's in commenting as me. Thank you, Derek. Stouts and lagers all the way. Amen. Amen. And I even like a good porter now and then. Okay. All right. But I don't like IPAs. Brush with history was up to you. Paranormal Brew. Good morning, Cisco Lady. I hate crafty. Oh, you don't like crafty, huh? 1 mug, 6 hot wings, and home. Cheap date. Yeah, wings. I'm looking forward to setting up my smoker that Cindy got me 2 Christmases ago, but I have yet to put together. Because this year I'm going to really get into smoking, and wings are one of the things I'm going to smoke. I got to come visit you, dear Matt. I like how you think. Have a blessed day. Drive on. Thank you, Cisco. Well, I'm at the studio this afternoon, but I have a visitor coming, but you can always stop by and say hi and see it for a couple minutes. Rabe or Rob would kill for some of that rain out in Nebraska. I'm done with the rain. May we never have rain again. Until next year. Mr. Gutty says, that's probably why the Tavern Talks are so good, though I don't know if you guys actually drink at all. Oh, there's drinking. The audience gets 2 drink tickets, and we fill them with booze beforehand. Some of them nurse it and bring it in to the bar. I pour myself a glass of scotch at the beginning and nurse that all the way through. And yeah, no, we loosen up a bit. Here's the thing. I can't get too loose because I lose my focus and I just want to have a good time. And to the detriment of whatever it is that we're doing. So 1 at the most. Of course, Lushes on the crew like Mikey B and Tad misunderstand all they see. And they are very upset that I don't let them drink. But I tell them, because if you drink and mess up on the camera, there's not much that I can do later on to fix it. If I drink and mess up while speaking, I can turn it into a joke, and if it doesn't work, I can cut it out later. But if you mess up and don't stop us, and I don't know, and I discover it later on, it makes everything look bad. So you need to be sober. Paranormal Bruce says, my lush days are in Gettysburg when I do my annual birthday bar crawl. So fun. And Paranormal does not like IPAs either. Thank you. That's right. All right, everybody. I've got to get my coffee here at Bantam Roasters, home of Little Ground Top. And I also have to, what else do I have to do? Get into the studio. That's what I have to do. That's it. So you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. And as they say in Albuquerque, looks like I took a wrong turn at Tempe. Have a good day. Have a great weekend.